Okay, so who am I here with?
Scott Dean.
Scott, okay, and that's Scott spelled S-C-O-T-T?
Yes.
Okay, nice to meet you, Scott.
How you doing?
Hey.
What's your name?
So,
Go ahead.
How you doing, Scott?
Your light's not on now, though.
It's okay.
Okay, you can see. All right, fine. You know, I'm all right tonight. You know, I saw actually a person tonight. I won't say her name, but she's probably one of the only females out here that is at least worth a damn to me. Most everybody else would disagree, but she's like my bratty kid sister. But she's on the streets.
Yeah.
And she don't slang her ass or nothing. She don't do that. But she has a hell of addiction, and she got a lot of problems and stuff. And she always got some boyfriend or whatever. But even though she had a boyfriend or whatever, normally she comes to me to deal with her problems. Because I'm like her older brother.
Gotcha.
She got a boyfriend problems or whatever. But I saw her, and like even though she's like all strung out on some opiates.
Yeah.
I walk up to her, and she's sitting in a basket over there. I walk up to her. I'm gonna say her name. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, hey, Belle. There's Belle, little blonde. She's like 20 something. She's cute as a button, but she, you know, ain't my thing. I don't like blondes. But I walk up. Hey, Belle. She's like, what? She like won't even look at me. I'm like, look at me. For what? I'm like, because I'm walking away. I gotta go. Where are you going? I'm like, back to where I always go, away from here, far away from everybody else, so I keep myself safe. You know what I mean? And I get the hell away from all y'all. Y'all are crazy guys. But look at me for a second. I can see for a while. I haven't seen her, and I've seen her one time in I don't know, 7 months. Before that, I used to see her all the time out here, and I used to be able to watch out for her. You know what I mean? We were like kid sis, you know. And she used to come to me for everything. I mean, like, you know, anything. If I had my last candy bar and walking up the street, she's like, hey, you got any candy? She always knew I did. And I got one candy bar left, though. She said, can I have it? I said, yeah, I'll give it to her. Nobody else. Not because she's a girl or whatever. It's just like yeah, my kids said, well, yeah, of course you can. But that's also the kind of person I am. And I used to always watch out for her, but I can't no more. Anyway.
I got you.
It was nice to see her.
Yeah.
But I told the girl that was sitting next to her, I said, you watch out for Belle. So I can't no more, but I gotta go. She's like, all right. And I walked off.
So Scott, how old are you?
I'm 45.
45 years old, man. Okay, man, you look good for 45.
It's because of all the preservatives. It's a joke.
Gotcha. So
actually, my father looked young for his age until he hit about like 70. I swear to God. Everybody was like, man, you look so young. I think it's just like I don't know, it's genetic.
I got it. So Scott, are you currently homeless? Are you house hopping?
No. I'm in between being homeless and out here in the Southern California or Bakersfield, they say homeless. In Northern California, they say unhoused because they're fucking polite.
Mm-hmm.
Homeless is a label. Unhoused is actually something that's happening. People are unhoused.
Gotcha.
Homeless thing, it's like, it's a different way of saying it. So, I'll say, I'm unhoused.
Gotcha. And how long you been unhoused for?
On and off for 2.5, 3 years.
Okay.
But it's by choice.
Okay.
Because of intolerable family circumstances that any other regular person would consider intolerable behavior by their family. And also, I had serious health condition where I was bedridden for a year straight. Literally. I could barely breathe normally for about 2 hours out of the day. And so I had no job for a year straight. And then the intolerable family behavior started where I had to stay. And so I left because a doctor by the name of Dr. Hammond, a female doctor at UCLA in downtown Los Angeles, it was a pulmonologist because I had breathing problems. She did a chest x-ray. Also had an upper GI done by a doctor named Dr. Bolo at Mercy downtown. That said, there's nothing wrong with your stomach because I have these like belching attacks and like, vomiting. He said he did a upper GI, scoped my stomach. Nothing wrong with your stomach, slightly irritated. I had a pulmonologist here, and I went to I had a barium swallow test done by a speech pathologist because I couldn't swallow. Everything I swallowed or drank or ate at my parents' house, I would aspirate. It would go down my windpipe and choke me. So I got down to 118 pounds. I'm already skinny as fuck at the moment. But I used to always be an average 150, above 55, always, my whole life. Until I moved to my parents' house. All of a sudden I became very ill, and I hate to say it, it's just the way it is. And then finally, I got to a pulmonologist, and she finally said what I already knew. She said, Scott, I don't know what the substance is because I coughed it up and I tagged it and bagged it and sealed it and gave it to her sample. Got a lab run it, and she had to do this chest X-ray, exercises. But she said, after your chest X-ray, there's nothing wrong with your lungs. The barium swallow test, where they X-ray your throat, where you swallow like 5 different things to see if your throat works normally. When I got there, did the test. Of course, when I'm away from the house, nothing wrong with my throat. Nothing wrong with my stomach, my throat. Nothing wrong with me, physically. But when I'm there, can't swallow, eat, or drink. Can't breathe unless for 2 hours out of the day. And I fight for breath. I used to pass out from like my oxygen, sit on the toilet, knock my head out. I feel fucked up shit. And anyway, finally she said, here's the thing. If you leave your environment, your health elements will go away. Can you leave your environment? I said, I don't know. Because I've been sick for a year, I have no job. My mom took the keys to my car, won't give them back. I took all my medication, and one of the medications, if I leave for more than 48 hours, I could wind up in the hospital and have a heart attack. So she had control of that too. So she controlled my transportation. So anytime I did leave and run away because of the attacks and yelling and screaming and nonsense that were intolerable, I could only be gone for more than 48 hours. And I had to go back because I had to have this medication. If I didn't have it, it's called baclofen withdrawal syndrome, which could put you insane in the hospital as an alcohol withdrawal syndrome or benzodiazepine withdrawal syndrome, which is like Xanax. If you've been on it forever, you can't stop taking it because you have a heart attack. So she knew that. So she had control of that too. Simply put, I was stuck. And so finally, what I did was I taped myself off the back of him without her knowing. And then I tricked her into believing that I was going somewhere at a friend's house to stay that I wasn't. And then I accessed some credit line that I had, and this past January, I hopped an Uber to San Francisco, where I lived for 8 years at one point, so I knew it very well. So I'm gonna go up there, I could do my thing. And so I had like a line of credit, like, I don't know, like 10 grand or something, I realized I had Wells Fargo. I forgot I had, but I found out. I tapped into it with my phone. Like, holy shit, I've access to the money. Because she wouldn't give me money for nothing and whatever, so anyway. So I took off to San Francisco. It cost me almost $500 to take an Uber from here to San Francisco one night. But I had to leave because everything got too hot out here, and I almost got killed 3 times in 1 week. Once off of Lee Avenue one night, I got maced in the face. Maced, not pepper spray. Maced and about beat to death in front of the Home Depot. And this guy stole my military backpack that I had for 5 years. And then they tried to get my guitar that was on my shoulder, but I wouldn't give it up. After I jumped it like 3 times. The 3rd time I jumped up, I ran. I was blind. You've never been maced. I mean, you can't see nothing for like 2 hours. I ran across the parking lot towards the light, which I knew this girl worked at a Bakersfield pizza company. And then I screamed, she said, Scott, get out of here, you can't be here, there's the kids inside. And I was like, look, just make sure these guys, they attack me, just make sure they come after me. I don't know if they follow me. I'm gonna hide behind here till my eyes clear up. Then I finally got her on my phone. I got an Uber from there back to the side of town where I knew I was safe. And then 3 nights later, right over there, Upper Panama, and over by the Jack in the Box, I smoke weed, man, and I drink. That's what I do. Somebody dosed my weed pipe with fentanyl. No shit. And
damn, what do you think about this fentanyl epidemic?
It's got him off it. The Norteños brought the fentanyl up from, this way. Not this way, the Norteños did. And they give a fuck. I've had to Narcan.
Let me sit down for a second.
Sorry. I've had to Narcan multiple people, friends, people I knew.
You good, man?
No, people I knew. I mean, one time I lived over at California, and I had this like little studio apartment that my cousin let me like rent out for a period of time until these people where I knew I lived there finally found me, because I used to go a different way back every time, so no one ever knew I actually had a spot. And finally they started going there, breaking into the place, yada yada. So I had to get out of there too. And so anyway, but this way it's so horrible. One hit to kill you now, and I ain't playing. I was at Lassen's grocery store, California, the Whole Foods store. It's like 115 degrees outside, so I got like this, like a pack of their like dark chocolate covered frozen bananas. The ice cream won't melt so fast. I'm out there. I mean, it was so hot that summer, last summer. I would sit outside for 30 minutes at 115 degrees in the shade, and the sun bouncing off. It's like 100, 125, and I was passing out from the heat from sitting outside. And if I tried to go inside to cool off, like in the Barnes and Noble, it was a bad idea. You go outside, so walk back into an oven. So it's better you acclimate, just pass out and wake up again, rather than cool off somewhere. So they fucked up. And my parents knew this was going on. Never called me, never offered me no money, no nothing. They just left me out there. Didn't give a fuck. I'm telling you, give me shit. And when I yelled at my mom, she's like, you left me out there. She said, I didn't know what was going on. Your dad didn't tell me. And I asked my dad, and he would say, this is how they play off each other. My dad would say, your mom told me not to give you any money. She said no. So they blamed each other. So neither one were at fault. Anyway, that's how they play that game. Again, the doctor said psychological warfare, whatever. So I'm over it. I ain't even mad about it no more. I'm disgusted by their behavior. So, but I was out there, I walked across, I see this woman, prostitute, across the way, but she's a nice lady. But she's got a bull mastiff. It's her guard dog, big ass blonde dog. And the dog's name is Brundage Lane. Named after Brundage Lane, where she's laying her ass. The dog protects her. This dog is huge. It's like the size of this whole bench she's sitting on. It's like 6 foot long. And it would kill a person. It's like, that dog loves the fuck out of me. Let's see her by herself. And obviously her husband's not with her. So I'm like, I'll walk over there and I'm like, hey, you want ice cream? So hell yeah. So like everyone. And then he comes back. But they're both Fetty heads. Fetty is fentanyl. That's slang out here. And so fentanyl. So he walks up and and so he comes back with it for her. I don't touch this shit. And so anyway, so what happens is this other guy shows up. I can say his name. This other guy shows up on a bike. And he's like, oh, hey, you got something? He's like, yeah. He's like, but hey, be careful with this shit. And when somebody like that, this man, says be careful with something, it's like the biggest pothead in the world tells you, like, it's like Cheech and Chong telling you, be careful with this weed. And like, you don't listen. You know what I mean? And you take you huge dose plus, you're gonna kill yourself, cough to death, right?
Yep.
Wait, what were you saying, sir?
So Scott,
Yeah.
I know you just talked about how.
So you asked about fentanyl. I'm gonna tell you what happened.
No. I know you just talked about how, like, you got like jumped and stuff.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
that like one of like the most like traumatic things that has happened to you out here?
No. I mean, I've been physically assaulted, like being dosed with fentanyl in my weed pipe, because I don't smoke fentanyl. So they put the dose in there, and you don't have a tolerance. So they literally tried to kill me. Certain people. That was horrible. I almost died that night. I mean, getting beat to death, you can fight back. You can run. You know what I mean? You can do something about it.
Yeah.
Someone dose your fentanyl, you're dead, man. Unless you got somebody to save your life. Who you trust.
Yeah.
That night, it sounds stupid. The night it happened, the guy to my left, by the name of Lefty, no shit, he skates with his left foot. And this Mexican dude, I got hit with it. It was a circle of people. And I saw it come around, and I had some. And but this weed is like, when it got passed back to me, my herb, no one took a lighter to it. It's kind of weird. I knew people that they smoke weed too. So they got passed back to me. There's a couple brothers that came in the back where they were, and then they disappeared as it happened. I made a mental note. When I took one draw from my herb, it was some good purple. It was some granddaddy purple, which I normally had. And all of a sudden, my extremities went numb. My arms, my legs.
Since being laced, did you have you stopped?
I stopped doing weed?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't believe no more. No, not out here. No, with nobody.
Okay.
Actually, I'll tell you what happened. Right after that happened, 2 days later, I got in that Uber. I went to San Francisco. I was there for a week and a half, and then I left there because I was still drinking. That was still my main problem. You know what I mean? It's easy to quit weed. You know what I mean? Don't worry with it. You're gonna be not hungry for a while. You ain't gonna sleep so good for a while, but it goes away. You ain't gonna go rob a house to go get some weed. You ain't gonna kill somebody to get some weed. You ain't go through horrible withdrawals. This weed is weed. That's why it should have been legalized a long time ago. Who gives a fuck about weed? You know what I mean? I'm fine. I stopped smoking weed. I'm fine. I just didn't have an appetite for a week, and now I can eat a house. That'd be fun. But alcohol, if you stop drinking and you have a high tolerance for a long time, you can actually have a heart attack and die. You have to check yourself into a detox where you get put on a benzodiazepine of some type, like called either Valium or Librium, with a combination of Ativan, and then normally clonidine to lower your blood pressure, which is a blood pressure medication. And then I've done this many times. But I was sober for 9 years off the bar. No shit. 9 years. Between 2012 and on. And then until I wound up on the streets. And I was actually using vodka as cheap hand sanitizer and something to stop, like skin infections and stuff. But me being a past alcoholic, I started drinking again. And so it carried on for 2.5 years straight. And when I got up there, across that bridge into Sebastopol, Santa Rosa, and I checked myself in to a rehab. And I spent 4 months there in Sebastopol. at a place called Azure Acres. Fantastic place. I mean, the counselors, outside AA meetings, NA meetings, therapists, and play, and decent food. I'm lucky. I'm one of those weird people on the streets that actually has insurance. Sounds fucking weird. I also have a car, still sitting in my parents' driveway for 4 years.
So
They
Scott,
wanted to keep it. But I was sober up there, came back. When I got back into town, I never should have done. I want to say, because I was going to move to a sober living out of here, and my mom took me back in here, and all of a sudden the fighting started, and all the craziness. My health started getting shitty, couldn't breathe again, and I started drinking again, and so here I am.
All right, Scott.
But just saying.
No.
The Fetty shit, no, straight. When I was saying that guy.
What's your game plan? You know, to get off the streets and.
I'll tell you.
What's your game plan?
I'll tell you. Here's the thing. On Monday, there's a company through called Psychiatric Wellness Center off of Brimhall, and they have a it's called an IOP, which is an intensive outpatient, which I originally enrolled in, but infighting with my parents and stuff, it's just an intolerable environment. So what's it called is my mom's a trigger. People have triggers when they have like an addiction. You know what I mean? Like certain things trigger them to a point that like it just throws them over the edge. Certain people, certain arguments, like if someone dies, you know what I mean? They just can't handle it emotionally. It's a trigger for them. Death, loss, grief. That's a big trigger for some people.
Yeah.
So therefore they wind up using. That's what sends them out again. So they could be sober for 10, 5 years. Their wife dies, and fuck, I mean, it's just too much. Their daughter or something. They just can't do it. Emotionally, but I think it's a human thing more than it's an addictive thing. Anyway, my mom was a big trigger in her, psychological aggression. So, I don't know, check this guy. I'll put that down for a second. This way, person. I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's alright, just ignore him.
I know, I know, but you don't know some people, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean seriously. Like, tilt this way, over here. Oh wait. Here. I don't know who the hell that is. What time is it? They're coming behind you and hit me with the bat. I mean, you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. I'll tell you something. I know somebody who is. I don't trust him, and I don't talk to him. I walk away.
All right, Scott.
No, but the question though, what am I gonna do? So on Monday, I'm going in to meet a counselor at Aspire.
It's a good program. I know about that program.
You do?
Yeah, they're good.
All right. So what it is 3 days a week, 3 hours a day. Saturday, 8 to 8, 9, 11 o'clock, and there's a men's meeting on Thursdays. Anyway, Tuesday and Thursday. It's 3 hours a night, 6 to 9, and I'm moving into a sober living house.
Nice.
SLE, you know what that is?
Nice.
Sober living environment.
Yes, that's good, man.
Yeah. So I already have the house. It's off of Brimhall that way. One's off Aspire's off of Callaway. So 3 nights a week at the house. I have to do like every other day breathalyzer for alcohol, a UA, which is piss test.
Mm-hmm.
I go to Aspire 3 times a week, and I have to go to 2 AA meetings or NA meetings a week also on top of that. So 5 days a week, I'm in that, and I get piss tests and breathalyzed at Aspire and the house, so it keeps me straight.
Yep, that's
I'll
good,
be there
man.
for 3 to 4 months, and I already re-enrolled in a class. I was taking online because I'm actually a certified meditation instructor. It sounds fucking crazy, but the new program I'm in through Yoga Moo Institute is the Advanced Meditation Instructor course, and so I'm just gonna recertify for the meditation instructor thing. We can do that. The advanced meditation instructor, I don't know. I think it's like 700 hours or something. When I'm done with that, I'll do that while I'm at that house. You know what I mean? So I'm doing all that in my free time at the house. I'm gonna be online taking the course, and I've been practicing meditation since 1991, man. So it's been
I got you. So last question for you,
so
Scott.
that's what I'm gonna do after this. My sobriety. I'm gonna help people with meditation and their sobriety and with their stress, anxiety problems, depression. I'm gonna help other people. I figured through all the suffering I've been through, I'm gonna help people with their suffering the best I can. That's all I can do. That's all I got. I got nothing else to do. Straight. And out here, what I'm on about, everybody knows I ain't never done anybody wrong. And if Belle has a problem, I help her with her suffering. You know what I mean? If somebody else, some girl has a problem, I make sure she is getting taken care of and nobody harms her. Because people shouldn't fuck with women. You know, I'm just saying.
I got you. Last question for you, Scott.
Yeah, what's up, sir?
Throughout your lifetime, what's one piece of advice that you can give?
The only philosophical thing I practiced Buddhism since I was 15 years old and studied Mahayana Buddhism and Zen Buddhism. And then Taoism, which is a Chinese philosophy, the Tao Te Ching, things like that. Written by Lao Tzu. And then I got into Hinduism. I mean, this is Sanskrit, the oldest language in the world. I've been studying for 15 years. This was Hinduism. Sikh people around here, they think I'm a crazy white boy when they see it, like Hindus and stuff. Like, because they can't read it because it's actually Sanskrit. It's not. I know, but I've studied philosophy a long time. The only philosophical thing that I could say is one thing: the mind has been, is, and always will be the most destructive force of mankind. The mind, the thinking mind, because thinking is not a real thing. The only piece of advice, that was just a philosophical thing. That ain't advice. This is a philosophical thing. It's the only thing I came with philosophically.
No, that's a good piece of advice.
But no, advice is this. Be compassionate to every single person you come across, no matter who they are. You don't know their circumstance, and it don't matter. I mean, if you see someone suffering, it doesn't matter what's going on. Help ease their suffering. That's all I could tell you.
All right, thank you, Scott.
Yeah.